Well, welcome back to H360 Health Talk. I'm here today with Nicole and James Angelino, the founders of Joey's Little Angels. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You've taken this road that you've been on, this unfortunate tragedy you've experienced as a family. It's hard for me to this work is a little sensitive. Losing a child, so you take this journey and you turn it into something really special. So tell me about the decision you've made to start Joey's Little Angels.
So we knew Joey was in the PICU towards the end, and we kind of had an idea that things were not going well. And our family was all flocking down to North Carolina from Jersey. Her brother and her father were driving. My brothers and sisters and mom were driving. Her mom was flying down. My dad was flying down, and everyone was trying to get there. And the night before, Nicole and I sat in the Duke cafeteria, and we just said we can't be selfish. We have to do what's best for Joey. And although we want him to be here, it's about quality of life over quantity of life. And that was a very difficult decision. And I think it was a very mature decision for both of us. But when you're a parent, you always put your children's needs before yours. And people always say, and I could see it's affecting you, but losing a child this is going to sound a little funny, but losing a child is not always the worst thing. It's seeing them suffer.
Yeah.
And in the end, he was suffering tremendously. And, we had to make a decision. When it all boiled down to it, there's not much more we can do. And, we had to do what was best for him.
And in some way, you being there, the comforting times and the memories, and now developing it into a foundation that's doing incredible work, has got to be, like you say, you can't be selfish, right? There comes a time where, you look at it and you say, okay, it's time, I'm going to give back. I'm going to really take my energy and put it into doing something good. So you start the foundation, and so the mission of the foundation, again, is?
To provide financial and emotional support with families that have a child that's undergoing some kind of medical treatment.
And how do these families find you? How do they find Joey's Little Angels, and the fact that you've got this, financial facility available to them?
So we very rarely have. When we first started, this was more of a coping mechanism for me. Nicole, obviously, we both had been through a lot, but we were both trying to navigate through, these uncharted waters that really we didn't know many people that have gone through the loss of a child. We talked to priests, we talked to different counselors, but for me, this was the way I coped. And we wouldn't necessarily, families wouldn't really contact us. We would hear about different families. And originally when we started, we were donating to Duke's pediatric bone marrow transplant family support. And after about a year or so, Nicole and I decided that we wanted to help families more locally. While it's great that people raise money to do research, and it's very important, we just felt with Joey's story, we wanted to be with people, engage with people, and engage with children.
And I think because we were on that floor for so long, it was kids with so many different diseases. I mean, we're all fighting for the same thing. So we didn't want to just gear it towards one.
We didn't want to give it to its Hurler syndrome when it's so rare.
Right.
So we just, any type of medical affliction, we felt that we could help families. And, it started with families we met at Duke, personally, who today are still, we consider a family, who are still battling every day with their children 10 years later. So we try to donate, we hear about people, we go meet them, we tell a little bit about our story. We really try to make it about them because that's what it is about. And one thing that I think we have done a very good job with is we don't just focus on the sick child. There's always siblings. And I feel, and we both felt that, when we were in North Carolina, Nicholas was here, and our families took such good care of him, and our friends, and really the community supported our family, that we also, look to take after them, take care of them as well.
And how do you raise money for your foundation?
So we have our large event. We have, Nicole doesn't like to call it a gala, but it's a big dinner that we have. It started very small. After Joey passed away, we said, let's try this, and we had a dinner at Mercer Oaks Country Club. Jim Hines, who runs the country club, is an outstanding individual. He's always been one of our #1 supporters, and kind of gave us a platform to build Joey's Little Angels. And you make a couple bucks here and there, and it started to snowball into bigger events, and a lot of donations that people hear about us and they want to help. We've done Halloween parties. We've done, what else have we done? Mud runs, polar plunge. We do a lot of things to support other organizations. So we feel it's very important to build bridges with other organizations because we can help each other. But most of the time, it's just donations from local families. We're not too corporate. We have a couple corporations that help us, small banks. But we say that we're a very small nonprofit organization making a big difference. So our numbers aren't staggering, but enough to help families in our area.
Well, I mean, you think about it, right? Uprooting and establishing another residence in another state. I mean, that all really puts a financial burden on these families. And I think you're right, and you hit a good point. It's about the other siblings, right? As you're going through it, making sure that, not that you want to bring them and make them an intimate part of the process, but they don't feel left behind.
Correct.
They're involved to as much as they can mentally assimilate what's going on, and emotionally. All that's really, really important to kind of keep that together on both fronts, in North Carolina and then back here in New Jersey.
And that's what worked for us. I mean, every family is different. We just felt that Nicole and I had to dedicate, and we have a great support system at home. So we knew, and it was never even hesitation, we knew we could leave Nicholas home with our family to take care of him. Not everyone's lucky enough to have that option.
Yeah.
So
you have a toy drive coming up, as I understand it?
Yeah, we do. This is our 9th annual Joey's Little Angels toy drive. Little background about that: when we were down at Duke, Joey passed away July 16th, and we had Summer Santa come and visit us.
Christmas in July.
Yeah, Christmas in July. He had his
why not?
His
I know. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
it was great, and we just thought that this could be something special. So when we came home, we decided to, we called a local deli, friends of the family, and said, hey, can you get us some bacon and eggs? And, a friend of ours who's become a tremendous supporter, Don Snedeker, he's a Hamilton firefighter. Hey, Don, can you get us a fire truck? And I had some of my basketball players from the high school that I coached at come and help. And Santa was there, of course. And we just had it was a little toy drive at our house. And we collected 87 toys the first year. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. It was fun, you know. And we shipped everything to Duke. The following year, we decided to do it again. And same thing, little bacon, eggs, and fire truck. And it was a little rainy that day, and our house got destroyed. So just from people coming in and out with wet shoes, and we collected 257 toys.
Wow.
So, we knew we were onto something, pretty big.
Sure.
And then, years go by, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We're going into our 9th year. We thought that Duke was great to us. Duke was great, but we thought that we could offer some support in the area locally. So we started to donate to Rutgers Cancer Institute. We did Robert Wood Johnson, Capital Health. And to date, this will be our 9th annual. So in 8 years, we've collected 14,000 toys, over 14,000 toys, and donated them to 18 pediatric hospitals nationwide. So in Cincinnati, Boston, Duke, several in New Jersey, and we're branching out to Seattle, Children's Hospital Seattle, and Children's Hospital of LA this year. So 20 hospitals.
So when is the official toy drive?
November 30th.
November 30th.
November 30th.
Saturday.
And if somebody that's watching this wants to make a donation or send a toy or get a toy to you somehow, some way? How do they do that?
So the event is November 30th. It's at the Nottingham Ballroom in Hamilton from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. One thing Nicole and I were adamant about was we do not charge people to come in. We supply breakfast. We have a DJ. We have so many volunteers from schools throughout Mercer County that dress up, in Disney characters, and we have a real reindeer, and Santa comes. We do not charge. You just bring an unwrapped toy. That's your way in. That's your ticket in.
So before we go any farther, do you have somebody playing Santa this year?
Santa.
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 Because I have a side hustle. I'm just saying. And before I go on my diet, for the new year, I thought I would just put it out
Santa
there.
will be there.
Santa, Mrs. Claus, and they're bringing their reindeer jingles this year.
I could be a happy little helper, Santa Junior or something. I'm sure there's a role that you guys can find for me. Well, Nicole, James, thanks again so much for joining me today. What you're doing is great and helping so many people. I really admire the work and what you've built with Joey's Little Angels. So thanks again for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.